Black people shouldn't be traveling and spending their money anywhere that's going to treat them poorly. You can say whatever you want about how America is, but guess what? That's where we were born and this is where we live. I'm not going to pay to vacation and visit somewhere that's going to treat me like shit. That's why Italy is never going to see me. And now that I see what's happening in Guyana, that place wouldn't see me either. And y'all can talk about, oh, y'all, people in New York get slapped every day. It's not even about him being slapped. It's the fact that he was mistreated and harassed the entire time he was there. Before the slap happened and being denied services, why would you tell people, oh, you can't just write off a country? Well, maybe they should represent themselves differently if they don't want people to write them off. Anybody that says anything about they don't want to come to America because of how it is, I respect that. Don't come here.
Hey, what's up? Sorry?
Anthony D'Olivero, the host of the Jumps travel documentary channel on YouTube, was a star vlogging in Georgetown on his recent trip to Guyana. This was a lowlight in a week of bad publicity for tourism in Guyana, sparking discussions about tourism, hospitality, Guyanese culture, and filming in public.
I realized that I'm late to the party with the French blogger that went to Guyana and got ill-treated. And a lot of people are calling this out for what it is. Racism. More importantly, internalized racism, right? Because this was a black man that got slapped in the face by another black man because he was upset that somebody was pushing a camera in his face. But as many of you pointed out, and rightly so, if this were a white man walking through the streets of Guyana, his skin color alone would have protected him from that kind of violence.
I will be adding Guyana to my do not travel list for the foreseeable future. I'm sorry, I've seen what I needed to see, and I will not be planning any vacations there. So if you haven't seen it, there is a travel vlogger. His channel is called Jump Travel Documentary. He's a black man from France, and he went to Guyana and obviously was vlogging. And the way that he was treated was horrible. It was horrible, and it wasn't even like it was just one bad interaction. The people treated him so terribly. It was honestly pitiful. It like literally made you feel bad how badly they treated this man. And I just know that if he was a white tourist, he would not have got treated like that. He would have got catered to. Like, it was disgusting.
I want to talk about that tourist video with the guy that was shooting content in Guyana. Listen, that guy don't have 1 inch of blood for me, but let me tell you something. That video sent me crazy. Monkeys know we limp for jump on, you know. Because if that was critics or some minister person that videoing somebody or some other content creator somebody, they wouldn't do this thing like this. Or if it was a white man, he wouldn't do that. Why isn't he getting charged? Why is he in jail or something? What's going on with the system? How could you hit somebody like that and get off? That video sent me crazy when I see that video. Why is nobody doing anything about it? Why is the video circulating, going viral? You know, people is go to different countries doing vlogs, showcasing a lot of things, and nobody don't do them nothing. Here comes Guyana, Guyanese. Disrespectful people. You know, if that person had any inch of blood for me, let me tell you, I would go through the hooks and the crooks to make sure you get charged or make sure you feel the penalty. Because that's disrespectful. You should not be walking around freely, hitting somebody in the face just like. He should be made an example. If the law doesn't take it, do nothing, somebody should make an example and let you feel it. I felt it for that man. That is so disrespectful. You slap somebody just like everybody's vlog. In this 21st century, everybody have their camera out vlogging, doing something. And you gonna just hit somebody.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from whatever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your host and present hygienic stories. There's something that I want to talk about that I see it's happening quite a lot to black people, but at the end of the day, it's time for us to talk about it. I understand black people, we have an history of going to places that we are not appreciated, going to places that has internalized racism. A perfect example is Guyana. You know, Guyana has an history of liking or being close to whiteness, because the recent case that happened in Guyana is that this person is a black person, is a black American who went to Guyana, and he was just trying to, record how things are going because black Americans like to travel so much. So this person was trying to like record what he was trying to do at that moment. But then it happened that the camera passed towards a person, another black person. So since the person didn't want to be recorded, and he went ahead and smacked this black man who was doing his recording like innocently. And so these have sparked a lot of things to talk about that I see that it is important for us to just have a talk about them. First is that yes, it's true. Guyana have an history of racism, and let's call it out. Let's call it for what it is, because I'm not hearing this for the first time. Guyanans, especially the Indians in Guyana, they are so much racist towards black people. And it pains now getting to see a black person smacking a black person. But we know very well that if it was a white person who probably had visited this place, he actually could have gone or wanted to appear on the video because he's white, right? And this shows you how self-hatred we have amongst ourselves, black people. But I'm not saying that all black people have this problem. But again, this is something which is worth talking about, because right now Guyana is being exposed and we are seeing the light. And this is what we call internalized racism, because this is what we have always been trying to say. Now, people are talking about Guyana. And just one point to make to black people, especially black Americans. I know you like traveling and probably you want to spend your vacation, you want to spend your holiday. I mean, this is not a rocket science. For the longest time, we have been telling you to please ensure that you go in a place where it's safe. You can do research. Look at the background of the place that you're going, right? So there's an internalized racism which is going on in Guyana. And I want us to watch this video. I'll be back and then I'll be sharing my thoughts. For those who are watching it for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to what I can offer you. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Somebody, but monkey know what limb for jump on, because if it was critics was there, you would have never done that. You would have never done that.
Now, people from Trinidad and Guyana, you're not excluded from this smoke. You know damn well that the Trini Indians and the Guyanese Indians or coolies are racist or colorists. They always telling their daughter, oh, bring home an Indian boy, and be vexed if they ever bring home a black man or a man with more Afrocentric features. I have a good Trinidadian friend who always say, he's like a shade lighter than me. He will always say, I think, God, I'm not darker than any darker than how I am. Watch your mouth, boy. And I know it's not your fault, it's your parents' fault. And if that should come from slavery, but watch your mouth, boy. We love Trini, we love Guyana. But all of this dividing between black and Indian or native or aboriginal, how you say it, has got to stop. No one man or one woman is better than anybody just because of the color of their skin and how straight them hair is. Idiot.
Is it possible that somebody white could have gotten assaulted? Sure, definitely. But is it likely? No. This black man had to consistently say throughout several of the videos that I saw that he was French in order to protect himself. He had to associate himself with a European country in order to maintain some sort of credibility as to why he would be blogging in the streets of Georgetown. Mind you, one creator rightly pointed out that the people of Guyana are not strangers to being filmed with all the CCTV and, the 4,000 surveillance cameras that Jack Dio said they're going to install in the country. And this is the message that we're sending to tourists. We as a Guyanese people, we got to do better, man. No wonder the rest of the Caribbean ain't trying to claim us.
Guyana, it don't look good. A black man visits a country as a tourist and explore your country, and you target that man. You realize when the bombing happened in Guyana, you realize they use a whitey man, right? They use a man where on a would not target. You would not do the same thing where you do. If you was doing the same thing that you do to the black man, to that whitey person that put the bomb at the gas station and unalive an innocent girl, you will get justice already. But because you're profiling the wrong person, the person who have good intention, the person who recording, the person who least likely to be an agent, that are the person who you target, that are the person you choose to be racist to and all these things. It don't look good. You brand your country as a racist country in 2026. Then your country get branded as a racist country in 2026. And you don't even have whitey people down there.
All right, see, I've been waiting on this. What is my take on these two tourists and the way they were treated differently? The Ministry of Tourism highlighted the same thing which I thought. This has to do a lot with the judiciary. This has to do a lot with the laws which are in Guyana to suppress the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression, because even the minister is saying that you have no right to video anyone's property or video anyone out in public. So Guyana should not be a tourist destination, because come on, understand this. If I go to America, I would like to take 2 pictures. I would like to video the community which I'm in. And it's very unethical that you will tell a vlogger that every single body who's going to come into contact or come into the area that he's videoing, he should get permission before. Because if you're videoing in a public space where people are walking up and down, you literally got to stop the video every 2 to 3 seconds to ask someone's permission to continue videoing. That won't make sense. So again, if they would like Guyana to be a tourist destination, these laws will need to be reviewed. So again, the Minister of Home Affairs and the Minister of Tourism will have to come to grips with what exactly they would like from Guyana. Because come on, you go to North Korea, you have to ask permission to film. But how much people trying to go to fucking North Korea, right? Every single country that is a tourist destination allows people to video unhindered. You go to America, you can video. You go to Jamaica, you can video. You go to Barbados, you can video. You go to Trinidad, you can video. How is Guyana going to be pushing the economy to become a tourism-based economy? And then on the same hand, we have laws which say you cannot do this, and you cannot do that, and you cannot do this, and you cannot do that. People will not come and spend $2,000 to $3,000 US to take a vacation that they cannot take a picture, make a vlog about, and basically have memories, right? A lot of people, this is how they pay for the trip. I'm very sure that these two guys, that's how they make their money, by posting on their social media. So again, being a tourist destination goes above that. A lot of the popular people who do tourist destination make money from the content. So if you're going to have a lot of laws that bars this, they're not going to come to Guyana. And this is not the first people to say that Guyana has a very bad reputation when it comes to tourists, right? A lot of people don't post about it. There was this white guy, right? I follow him on YouTube. I watch all his content on YouTube. He said that Guyana is one of the hardest places for you to make content, right? And this is things that the Ministry of Tourism got to look into. Guyana get a bad review on many occasions from many tourists. Like if you watch a lot of these small YouTubers that visit Guyana, was this guy that was doing a series, right? Where he used to follow Cartel to like all of Cartel shows when Cartel first come out. And the guy said Guyana is one of the hardest destinations to film in. So like when you're getting all these negative reviews, you're not going to get the tourism that you would like to have, because trust me, nobody's coming to spend their money in a country which they cannot make a video or take a picture and post it on their social media and go viral. You're living in the age where everybody wants to be popular on social media, and the only way for them to do that is by making content and posting. And again, this is exposure for the country. So y'all need to figure out what y'all would like to have, because at the end of the day, if y'all have these laws in place, you always find citizens willing to attack tourists. And some people might not look like a tourist. It's easier. So that's the only reason why they might have to attack this guy, because he looks like a tourist. This guy looks like a local. Same thing happened to Leon. And trust me, I've even seen this happen to a guy on Main Street where he was actually on a live and somebody approached him and attempted to take away the phone. So again, and the guy said the same thing. The guy said, I came here to see the lights and video and show my following. So, and yet still a local wanted to take away the man's phone. So, yeah, the judiciary got to get it right, and that's fact 100.
Guyanese are generally perceived to be warm and hospitable towards tourists. However, in my 10 plus years of experience, I've noticed that filming in public exposes a glaring double standard. While Guyanese are generally averse to being on camera, unless they have something to complain about, they tend to be a lot less hostile if the person holding the camera is white. Of course, there have been other black influencers and vloggers who've had different experiences, like Wodamayo, who exists in a completely different niche and is way more popular than Anthony is. From what I've seen of his channel on YouTube, Anthony is typically a jovial, warm person, and his interactions tend to be polite and respectful. You don't have to take my word for it, you can go check out his channel. I'm also not entertaining any arguments about him filming in a rough part, because it's the market and we've seen vloggers film in way rougher places than that. In fact, we've seen vloggers film in the same spaces with very different results. And for those talking about filming in public, in Guyana, if you're in public, it's more likely that you're on camera than you are off camera. Think about it. The government has cameras all over the place, especially in high traffic areas like the markets. Then there's businesses and private buildings with CCTV cameras covering their perimeter and entrances. What about the thousands of cars with dash cams, ring cameras, Meta glasses, and then of course any and everyone with a smartphone. Looking at the video, you can see that this was very clearly just a passing interaction, not one where Anthony set up his camera, pointed it at these guys, and was clearly looking to start something. He was walking, going about his way on the vlog. And I think we can all agree that immediately resorting to assault is not the best way to handle a situation like that. Which is why it's good to see that the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce released a statement condemning the attack. It's clear that when we're confronted with issues like these, it becomes a discussion about Guyanese culture, caught between prejudices and stereotypes of the past and habits and practices of the present. And it might be time for us to accept that life in Georgetown is not as nice, pretty and perfect as we like to portray, even when the cameras aren't rolling. Regardless, as Guyana gets more popular, there will be many more solo travelers and vloggers looking to document their experiences while they travel through the country.
No one gives a crap.
Did he tell any lies? You can talk about his delivery, you can question his motives, you can even say that he's cherry picking, but you can't argue the reality. Ellis from the Skint Northerners, a British travel vlog channel on YouTube, just gave one of the most scathing and unfiltered reviews of Georgetown, Guyana. It was perhaps the most infamous lowlight in a week full of exposés about the sides of Guyana that tourists typically don't see and marketing understandably ignores. Clips from one of his videos have gone viral many times over. The reactions are pouring in, and it's safe to say that foreigners are shocked, many locals are embarrassed, and many Guyanese who migrated are clutching their pearls and acting brand new like they usually do. Many, like myself, are saying, "I told you so," because Ellis hasn't pointed out anything new. Many locals and top journalists like Gordon Mosley have pointed out these issues for years. But I guess it takes a foreigner to get a reaction. Ellis talked about too much for me to address in one video, so I'll focus on the biggest problem. Georgetown is a filthy, chaotic mess. Garbage everywhere, so much in disrepair or poorly maintained, no order on the roadways, and the poor attitudes of so many people are the flies on top of this great big cow pie. Those videos and the resulting discourse have showcased the results of when people don't care about their country and the leaders don't care about their people, to the extent that these negative attitudes and straight up squalor have become cultural. I must point out that most tour experiences in Guyana are carefully curated, as any country would do, which is why many influencers and tourists show the best or are only shown the best. But for Guyana, the image and reality are sometimes so starkly different that it's no surprise that two vloggers who take their own path stumble into the worst without even trying. Uncleanliness, nasty attitudes, poor public facilities, and a plethora of other problems. We know the issues. We live them every day. Many are desensitized, detached, or delusional. So my question to the Guyanese at the top and at the bottom is, what are we going to do about it?
All the waterways are like this. Just covered in plastic waste, sewage. Look down here. It's a proper mess. It's just laziness, isn't it? Pure laziness. No one really cares about where they're living. I've watched everyone throw all the litter outside of the minivan windows.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. Now brothers and sisters, I want to talk about this scenario. I've always tried to talk about this by trying to tell you that please go in spaces where you're accepted. Black people go places where you're accepted. Guyana might be a black place, but at least it's having a negative publicity. What people are now saying about Guyana, and I don't think this is the first case scenario, because we've been having like these cases going on for a long time. This is something which has been happening for the longest time. And now when we get to see now this happen to a black person, this sends an alarm to black people, which makes people start thinking, then where should we take our money? Because if this is a black place and we want to spend our money, we want to grow these economies, because you know black Americans, they have the purchasing power. So it means that they'll have to take this money to non-black places that doesn't serve them well. But at the end of the day, I think also on the other side, okay, I like to say that Guyana has an history with racism. I won't lie about that. But again, I like to say that It could be in any place. You could be smart for, recording, because we even have, for example, when you go to Somalia, you are going to realize that people don't like camera so much. So it is not every place that is camera friendly, right? So this is a perfect example to let you know if you're a person who loves camera, or if you're a person who just you want to show your lifestyle. Some people don't like being shot on the camera, but we have to call it for what it is. We know very well that if this was a white person, probably things couldn't have taken the turn that it took, which leads us to a discussion that is internalized racism. For the longest time, our enemies left us what we call the Stockholm Syndrome. It made us hate ourselves and love our oppressors. It is so much sad see a black person smacking a black person instead of welcoming a black person inside your country. This explains a lot. This really explains a lot. When we have always been seeing scenarios where we have, even in restaurants, where white people are being treated well as compared to black people. You're a black person, you are going to a restaurant thinking that this is your country, somebody is going to be treating you right, but you realize that this is a black person who should be serving you, but then they're giving priorities to a white person or to an Indian because they're of a lighter skin or anything. And that tells you a lot of internalized racism. Let me share a story. There was one day I was going to Mombasa. Mombasa is a city, it's coastal city, so it gives you the vibes of beaches and everything where you can just have the sunlight and just chill and have fun, right? So I was leaving from Nairobi going to Mombasa. So normally you need to go and take a ticket, a train ticket. So I took my train ticket, and while I was at the reception, this dude was like he was frisking me so much, like trying to ask for my details, my ID, my everything, literally seeing I'm black, I'm Kenyan and everything. But he would just leave this white person just passed by just saying hello, and they'll pass. And this tells you that, yes, internalized racism is something which is there to some black people who are still going through this, which is so unfortunate. It is so unfortunate that this happened in Guyana. But Guyana is Guyana is having so much of these cases, so much of these issues going on, and majority of them, I think, they need to be addressed. And it's important that people are having this honest discussion, because if you need black people to spend their money in your countries, then make it so much welcoming for them. You don't expect black people to come spend their money in your places where you treat them like shit. Also, to you black people, please spend your money where you are valued. Spend your money where you are respected. Spend your money where you are seen as a human being. Do not go and spend your money where you're not respected. Do not go spend your money where people don't even consider you as an important person. But just seeing you like another black person who is coming to seek help. So this has been happening for the longest time, and we black people, we have tried to tell you this for a while now. We have tried to tell you to be careful. So just go spend your money where you are respected. Go spend your money where you'll get value of it. We have so many places you can go for a vacation that you can enjoy, where you can have fun. There's a couple of comments that I want to read in regards to this video. People sharing their experiences, and I think this is important. So somebody said that I had a coworker who was from there, and our family lived there, and was bounded and unalived in their own home. I was shocked. She was so calm, telling me, but I can't see the pain. But I can see the pain. That being said, I don't know about going there. It's crazy. That story is really crazy. Okay, somebody also said that I'm a Guyanese, also a follower to Jump Travel documentary channel. First, Guyana is not a tourist destination. And that is a good thing to a certain degree. Everywhere tourists go, the economy gets destroyed for the locals. A lot of the Guyanese commenting in those videos are giving a misconception. Yes, Anthony, who went into the bad area and got hit by one of the bad boys in the area. The one thing Anthony did was dishonest, and I made that comment under this page. He let one incident overshadow the entire stay in Guyana. He stayed an entire month in Guyana because he was enjoying himself. He kept saying it was French because his accent is strong. He went to Suriname and stayed only 1 week in French Guyana. He stayed like 2 days because he didn't like it, and everything was expensive. So that's a contrary story from what we're getting. I don't know. Tell me what to think about this, because this might also be true, but we are not writing off the cases that have always been reported in Guyana at the same time. But yeah, we understand things like this happen, and sometimes things can go wrong. Somebody's saying that you all have got to realize Guyana is the same place that allowed Jim Jones, a white man, to operate and hold a ton of black people hostage, then forced them to drink poison. He went to the BC. He knew they all question him. They love colonization. Somebody's also said that I'm very surprised that this is a topic in 2026. Guyana has always had racism, colorism issues for years. I believe the caste system was brought over there by the East Indians, and the country has been divided ever since. Somebody saying that I spent 21 days in Guyana last summer with a group of 15, and we were treated very well, whether in small groups or together. We filmed and took thousands of pictures. Nobody ever seemed offended. Yes, I'm aware of Coli and the reality of racism, but I truly believe this incident was isolated, not excusable, just representation. We're already planning another trip, and 2 people from our group are buying land to build Airbnbs and have a place to stay on for future visits. You can't judge an entire country off on a viral moment. And honestly, given the current state of America, the US would 100% be off my list of my countries to visit, which also makes a point. Come think about it. Probably we have issues with colorism in Guyana, right? But also we have people that are having good time over there, which is also representable. But the point that we are saying is that not all places are safe. Maybe there are some places in Guyana that are safe. They need to clarify to the tourists who are going to those places. Places not to go while in Guyana. Places to go while you are in Guyana, right? That will do a favor to them. I really don't know what to think about this video, but please let me know what you think about this, right? Because we need to talk about these issues. And as you know, I'm your host and present Hygienic Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.